Uh, Growing old is really quite an amazing thing because uh, your short-term memory goes. Um, but I don't find that's exactly true because, and this is really how it works for me, and this is for quite a long time. Uh, if I make jokes up myself, I can remember between 3 and 4 until I write them down. Uh, the easiest thing to remember is something you created yourself, but except one thing, and that's something that you cooperated with other people to create. There's nothing you can remember better than that, probably especially if it's a song. Paul McCartney, he said he wrote memorable songs so that he could remember them. Really, he said that. Paul McCartney said that. I don't want to get too off topic. Yeah, I got 15 minutes this time, I think. The original lyrics to "Get Back" were an anti-Pakistani thing. Don't want no Pakistanis taking people's jobs. Get back, get back, get back to where you once belonged. Whole history behind that. I'll get into it eventually. So anyway, so the thing is that yeah, I can remember things. Like, okay, here's a joke. You know you've really got problems when you go someplace and realize that you've forgotten you've gone there, what you went there for. That's a problem. It happens like 25 times a day to me. I just stand there and try to remember what I was looking for. I mean, that happens all the time. But if you start forgetting that you forgot what you went there to find, then you got problems. So that's a joke, right? And I remember. I can remember jokes that I create. I can remember jokes that other people created, but my own, the best. Okay, and so what this brings us around to is the last and probably best Indonesia story. Best stories are from Indonesia, definitely. So I'm on a boat from Bali to Lombok, and I meet these 3 guys, and I swear to God this is true. The very first time I met them, they were just high as a kite. And the reason that they were high is because they'd just come from the bathroom and met these Indonesian guys that were cutting their arms open and stuffing heroin in the cut. And so these 3 guys bought some of the heroin and did it. And that's why they were so blasted. I swear to God, this is true. And so I'm curious about these guys. They're very talkative, very intelligent, blasted out of their heads. And I'm going, okay, this is different. This is very different. And then a little bit later, I realized that they're hanging around with this middle-aged woman. And so I get talking to her, and I say, you know, really nice to meet you and all that. But, like, what in actual hell are you doing with hanging around with these guys? And she said, I'm hanging around with them because they are my sons. Sit on that for a second. And so I got to know them, and somehow we wound up staying kind of close, I guess. Their place was really expensive, and mine wasn't. But so I got to know them, and one day we took a little boat to a different island for lunch. And when we got there, we met this guy. I think, you know, this was arranged. And he was like a transgender Indonesian guy. And he's there, and, you know, he's doing the transgender routine. And I eventually get curious about, you know, what are we doing this for? And the woman says, well, I wanted them to know where they came from. Because Indonesia had once been a colony of the East Asian Company, I think. Netherlands Dutch company, Dutch East Indian Company, something like that. And they colonized Indonesia quite late. And what had happened to her is that she had gone there and had a romantic relationship with a transgender Indonesian guy and had two kids. These two kids. You could tell the ones that were brothers, and then there was this guy, like 6'5", really sophisticated waiter. You know, you could just imagine in Amsterdam, right? And so, okay, seriously, this is your story. Really? Maybe some people wouldn't find that quite as extraordinary as I do, but I find that very extraordinary. And over a period of time, you could see that there was a really intelligent one. The really intelligent one, I think, like kind of usual, actually, was gay, and the other brother wasn't. He was a little dull compared, right? And the gay guy was a telecommunications executive or something. Spoke like 5 languages, I think. Just, you know, outrageous intelligent. And so I was more keen to observe what happened to him. And while we were there, he was turning browner and browner. And he was learning a bit of Indonesian, which is the easiest language in the world, maybe, honestly. Okay, the easiest language for English speakers is Dutch. The second would be Indonesian. It's ridiculous. Ridiculously easy to pronounce. Anyway, so he's learning Indonesian, turning brown, and his whole attitude is softening. Right? He was, let's put it this way, a really arrogant white guy when I met him. And over the course of about 4 or 5 days, he became browner and browner because he was part Indonesian. I mean, he's like one of these guys, you just don't notice, you would never notice that he wasn't like a white guy. I don't know what it is, but over time, his attitude softened as well. What an incredible situation. I think that's the most astounding thing. If I had to, put it on like a scale, probably have like 100 stories that are just kind of almost this like crazy. But I would say that's my number one story.